I would say it's nonlinear because I think it fits mathematically in a way, right? Also, it matches with like my personal road, like to data science, but also to many career of other people. No, so as I said, my road was very non-linear. So when I graduated from high school, like in Germany, we do Abitur. So this is like the high school equivalent in the US. I was actually quite confused. So I started to work for my parents. So we have our own business here in Berlin. And then, you know, when you are 18, you know, you're like, okay, what do you do now, right? So I was talking to different friends, people that I know that already work for a couple of years, and I met a friend of my brother-in-law, and he was an investment banker, and he told me like, okay, if you don't know what to do, just study business economics, you know. So, and you know, I was like, I took his advice because I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Because I didn't know what to study, right? I mean, I enjoyed, like probably all of us in this room here, math as well, right? And also physics and all that stuff. But then I was like, okay, but what do I do with this, right? At the time, I was like, I didn't know what to do with math afterwards and all that stuff. And then you know, when I was studying business, I went into actually investment banking. I worked, like, for example, at Deutsche Bank in the trading room, but also like doing research and like equity research, but also working in M&A. But I think it's good that I did that because I knew that afterwards I didn't want to do that. So that helped me basically to decide, okay, you're not going to go in finance, but in finance, there was one thing that I actually enjoyed a lot already. So I was doing a lot of quant stuff. So for example, even for investing, you know, I was very interested into like this Markowitz models, like optimization models, but also like how to basically price and options, you know, with a lot of like differential equations. So I really like the math part already, right? But then I was still confused. Okay, what else could you do with math? You know, with the skills you have. And I also I didn't study like computer science, but I programmed programmed since I was 14 already. So I knew programming. I really enjoyed it already. So I'm a self-taught like a lot of things. But then I really like, okay, what else do you do? So I went back to university. Like I went into like, okay, maybe in Berlin, you know, you do a lot of startups. Maybe you do startup. I do co-found something, but then I also didn't find anything really particular that was interesting for me. And then I was competing also like in case studies. Maybe I decided, okay, finance is not good, but maybe try consultancies like McKinsey or BCG, right? So like trying all these things, but then I was like, oh, okay, but this is also like, you know, PowerPoint bullshit bingo, right? You also really didn't enjoy it that much. And then a friend of mine that I used to like we used to do a finance internship. So he basically studied statistics in Munich at the LMU, and he told me, hey, there's this thing, you know, machine learning. It combines like statistic and optimization, and actually you like optimization, you like discrete mathematics, right? So why don't you have a look at this? So and then I did. I think maybe most of the people a Coursera course in Europe was like, oh wow, there's a lot of things that I already know, but it's just rebranded as a different terms, right? So instead of like, you know, linear regression, you know, he called it supervised learning. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know about this already. So and I knew a lot about optimization theory, and also things like, you know, when he did like what reinforcement learning, so things like that I did already with dynamic programming and so on, right? So I was like, okay, cool, that sounds pretty good. And then afterwards I found a position within Accenture because they were starting this thing here in Germany, but it wasn't called data science at that time. So it was like, I think 7 years ago, I started as a, I think, big data analyst, you know, it's because at that time, data science was not really like common here, and maybe it was called advanced analytics or something like this.
Yeah, it's just rebranding every time, right?
Yeah,